Folks, week 3 of the OTAs in the books. We've got some changes administratively. We've got some new additions to the team. And we've got some position battles that we should be paying attention to this training camp, this offseason. Join me on the Buffalo Fanatics, the Rico Report. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rico Report. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a minute. Well, we back. We here to talk some Bills. We got some things popping. And welcome. If you guys are joining for the first time, do me a favor, smash that like. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what it is. And folks, we got a lot of things to talk about, man. OTAs are in the books, for now. There's some interesting position battles brewing, if you will. But there's been a couple additions to the squad and a couple strays the Bills are taking. I'm sure if you heard about the stray out of left field, that came out of left field. I don't know where that came from, but we gonna talk about it on this podcast, on this show. So, folks, just to get into it, welcome back for those that have been tuning in for a long time, and you guys ain't first time. Listen, salute to y'all for joining. I see the chat is buzzing right now, so we're gonna get this thing popping. What's up, my folks? And let's get right to it, folks. We've made some administrative changes. We've made some positional changes, coaching changes, and we've added some things along the way. So some Bills scouting staff updates to give you guys, whether you guys want to hear this or not. But this is important because we've got to bring the fresh new eyes to the squad. We got to bring a fresh new look, right? You can't have the same old guys looking at the same old things, right? You got to have guys that look outside. Look outside the box, if you will. So some changes have been announced. We've got Matt Barzingen has been named Director of College Scouting, which is cool. He had previous worked as the team's senior personnel executive. All right. So we've got Asil Malba has been named the Assistant Director of Pro Scouting. He previously worked as the Pro Scout. Keith Jennings was named as the Area Scout after previously working as the team's Blesto Scout. That's pretty dope. So he's looking at that local talent. And there's always someone that needs to go to these small places, small schools to look for that big time talent. So that's dope. Darius Vanette was added to the staff as the area scout. He spent the last 11 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals scouting department, most recently as the area scout in the East. RJ Webb, formerly as a pro scout, will now work on the college scouting staff and will serve as the team's Blesto scout. Big shout out to him, my man. And Vince Margry, whichever it is, was added to the Pro Scout after most recently serving as the Assistant General Manager of CFL's Toronto Argonauts, my home country. So welcome to those folks taking on new roles and new positions. And listen, it's only for the better of the team, right? Only for the better of the team. So I don't know about y'all, man, but I was just minding my own business. We were minding our own business. And obviously, for those that watch hockey, the Edmonton Oilers are about to try to bring home the cup to Canada. And head coach was chatting. I believe it was a head coach. He got to chatting and he was talking. And they asked him a simple question: How are you going to set up and how are you gonna figure out a way to deal with a team that has playoff experience, championship experience? And this was his response.
Team that has a ton of Stanley Cup final experience. They were just there last year. Is that an edge that you guys have to overcome, and how do you do that quickly?
Experience is good. I don't know how much experience is beneficial. You can ask the Buffalo Bills how important Super Bowl experience is. But I think the biggest thing is just having confidence to play. And, when our guys are playing their best, they should have a lot of confidence.
Golly. Go ask the Buffalo Bills about that playoff experience. Listen, that's a well-deserved shot. That's a well-deserved shot. That's a witty response to come up with that right off the bat and say, well, go ask the Bills about that experience. What did that do for them? And he's absolutely right. I mean, going to the Super Bowl 4 straight times, you'd think we'd come away with at least one. With at least one. 2 would have been nice. All 4 would have been amazing. But we came out with a donut. And my guy was like, yo, don't ask me on them playoff experience against going up against teams with playoff experience. Go ask the Bills how that treated them. Eee. That came out of left field. I felt that one. I was like, ooh, that was a little quick jab to the side right there. So sometimes you got to reach out and poke someone, and they poke the Bills on that one, and they're not wrong. I mean, shoot, what did that experience do for us? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Listen, Nichols, he baked us for sure. That boy got us. Yeah, he got us good. Walter, my man Walter says, I actually wanted Edmonton to win until I heard that BS. He's right, but he's right. He is right. And Edmonton is going to win. I mean, shoot, I don't know hockey too much, but if Connor McDavid, is that Connor McDavid cat on that squad? Boy, that boy cooking right now. He did something the other day. I don't know where this guy's a magician with the stick. I'm telling you right now, man. So kudos to the Oilers, and maybe they bring this thing home, man. Lord knows we got to bring something back to Canada. You know what I mean? So big shout out to them. But dude, we took a straight shot with that one, and that was direct hit. It didn't even just miss us. That hit us right to the core. We deserve that one. We deserve that one. You got to bring something home sometimes, bro. 4 times you got to bring something home. But we are forever going to feel that sting, no matter where we go, no matter what topic be hit. It could be NBA Finals championships. Going there 4 times. The minute you hear championship and 4, the number 4, automatically comes back to the Bills. And unfortunately, we got to bear that. You know what I'm saying? You might be a new Bills fan. You don't know anything about these 4. They will quickly remind you that your team that you now root for, that you inherently take on, you're gonna feel that. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one that my son's gonna have to feel, my girls are gonna have to feel. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We got that straight. It's just what it's gonna be. When was the last time Edmonton won anything? I mean, listen, they have an opportunity right now. They got an opportunity right now. So will they take it? That's a whole nother ball game. Speaking of a whole nother ball game, we brought on an individual that was in a whole other sport, and the Bills decided to say, you know what? Let's bring on this man, Mr. Gabe Stevson. Gabe Stevson has now joined the Bills as a defensive tackle, 6'1", 285, lean, pure muscle, and he's about to take on the rigors of the NFL. He's about to take on the big boys in the trenches, and that's one of the toughest things to do in football, is taking on guys in the trenches. I think we all know that. I think we've all seen it. It's not something that's easily done, but the Bills see something in Gabe Stevenson. Gabe Stevson. They feel that he's got some potential. The athletic ability is there. Everything about how quick he's going to be, all that is there. I mean, even Von Miller touched on that a little bit. All that is there. But it's just a matter of putting it all together. It's about up here. It's about knowing where you're supposed to be. I mean, some might say it's a total slap in the face to those that have been doing it for so long, and you're just going to bring some next man in and just expect them to come out and do big things. I mean, it's you got 90 cats on the field. One way or another, you got to try out everybody. Not everybody's going to make the team. Not everybody's going to be an impact, but you could always, I mean, it's a high reward. No, very little risk, high reward. So if he pans out and he makes the 53 somehow, some way, then we have something special in Gabe Stevson. Now, he's got a wrestling background. We already know what time it is. Coach is all about the wrestling, right? So he's got a wrestling background. He's stout. He's pure beef. So I saw him next to Harrison Phillips, and what a difference in size. 6'3". I mean, Harrison Phillips is 6'3", 305, 310. And he was next to Gabe Stevson. And I'm going to tell you, there's a big difference between those two. However, anything can happen. Anything can happen. He doesn't have a lot of experience. I mean, they see something in him. And if he can grasp and if he can hang on and kind of understand the game, Maybe he shocks a lot of people. Maybe he does. But this is a long shot for him to make the squad. And there were moments that they had the Bills and Stevson linked to one another just a short several weeks ago. And now they've made it, they turned it into something. And here he is coming in and trying to make this squad. McDermott was answered the question. He says it was, what athletes translate better to another sport, basketball or football players? And McDermott answered C, wrestler. Boy, please. We'll see. I guess we'll see. I mean, he's a former wrestler himself, so he's going to be a little bit biased. So we catch that. We know that. But either way, it's an interesting signing. We're going to be paying close attention to him. Is it worth it for us to speak on this brother making the squad? Listen, let training camp pan out. Let the mini camps pan out. Let all those things pan out before we start making those assertions. But right now, he's got an opportunity. That's all he's asked for. That's all he's going to get is an opportunity to come in and make this squad. So will he? Well, you got competition. You got the Duke. You got obviously the two big dogs in DeQuan, Ed Oliver. You got the Johnson that came in, Smoot. So we got some guys on the line. So it's an uphill battle for my guy. It's an uphill battle. Does he make the squad? We'll see. That being said, though, we did also make another I can't say splash signing per se, but we did bring some more players onto the squad. Player by the name of Shane Simon. We signed that brother Shane Simon, and we had to waive Tommy Doyle. I mean, I honestly thought this was going to happen sooner than later for Tommy Doyle. I mean, we look at the depth of this team, so it's an uphill battle. So they waived him, put him on the injured reserve, and Tommy Doyle is no longer on the squad for now. You never know if he comes back and makes something happen. But linebacker Shane Simon, undrafted rookie linebacker out of Pitt, played a couple years at Pitt, captain of the team. So clearly the theme is to bring guys that have good, high quality character. And obviously the linebacker room is mighty full. So we'll see how this all plays out. This plays out for him in the best way he can make the squad. Obviously, special teams. And with this new kickoff, the way this all set up, this could pan out very well for my guy, Mr. Shane Simon. So uphill battle for him, but nonetheless, we got him coming to the squad. So kudos to him bringing to the squad. So Shane Simon to the Bills, linebacker out of Pitt. And we'll see if he makes a difference on the squad. So before we get into position battles and things that we should be looking forward to, there was a conversation that stemmed not too long ago. My brother called me and we were talking, and he was mentioning something about the Milwaukee Brewers. Was it Milwaukee Brewers? I can't remember. I can't recall what it is, but baseball. And one of the players came back to, his ex team, and he got a standing ovation. And forgive me because I don't really pay attention to baseball too much, but he got a standing ovation, as he should. If you were part of a squad and you were a well-respected player, and the home crowd or the ex-team, the Brewers is right? Correct. Thank you very much. And I think he played for Philly? Anyway, nonetheless, or the Red Sox, can't recall. So he got a standing ovation. He got a standing ovation before the game, and as they should. It kind of brought me to when Jordan Poyer comes to play against the Bills and he comes to Miami. I would assume that Bills fans will give him and show him love. They will show him love. I mean, he was just at Micah Hyde's softball game, his annual softball game, and he got a lot of love. And he got a chance to kind of address the crowd, and he wished there were better circumstances, but things never worked out. So here's the deal. Here's the reality. So this baseball situation, brother gets a standing ovation. Everybody's showing him love. And I guess brother hits like a home run near the end. Now, whether it affected the game, but he got cheered. Here's the deal. The opposing player, not on your team anymore, makes a great play against your team, and he got cheered. He got cheers in the crowd. So now it's been conversation, and I'm like, how would I feel about Jordan Poyer coming back to Buffalo? I'd have no bones. You know what I mean? Standing ovation. You played with us for 7 years. You gave the Bills your all. You can tell this guy played with ribs broken. He couldn't even fly with the team. He drove to the game. Like, you can't question the character, the want to, the dedication that Jordan Poyer gave to the Bills. You can't. Nobody can question that. However, when you're on the other squad and you make a play against my team, I can't cheer for you, my guy. I can't. You're the op now. You're on the opposite side of the paint. You're on the opposite side of the field. I can't root for you. Once we give you that standing ovation, you salute to you. You're me a big piece of this team, and I mean, we'll never forget you, J. Pole. You know what I'm saying? Big dubs, all that good stuff. But once you on the other squad, bro, and you make a big tackle, or you make a big play, or you force a fumble, or you intercept, you do something, ain't no way anybody in the Bills crowd is gonna be cheering that shit on. I guarantee you that. And if we ain't playing you in the snow, bro, because a couple snowballs are gonna be formed. It's gonna be coming your way. So what say you? What say you if J. Pole makes a play against the Bills? Do you cheer? Do you silently cheer? Do you stay mum? Say nothing? My man David Sparrow says, stop it, Rico. If he makes a play against us, there's no way I'm giving him flowers. Hey, I'm with you. So what I'm saying to you is, ain't no way. I'll give him his flowers before the game. He's coming back to Buffalo in a different uniform. Show him some love. But that's it. The love is gone after that. Once the 60 minutes of football starts, it's over with. You the ops. We there to whoop that ass. And Josh Allen right now has a record of 10-2 against you boys. So it's going to continue. And J. Poe knows that. J. Poe knows that his back is against the wall in this, and he's going to try to ruin it for us. I can't see anybody donning a Bills jersey, Bills memorabilia, Bills sweater that's going to sit here and root for Jordan Poyer making a play against the Bills. Can't do it. Devin Singletary making a play against the Bills. You want them to have success outside of playing the Bills, but not against your team. So to me, that's how I feel. Are you guys in the same boat as me where, we love you. We got nothing but respect for you, but you going up against my team and making a play against my team, ain't no way I'm rooting for you. You're on the other side. It's clear cut. It's that serious. It's over with. And then after the game is done, hey man, good job. You know what I'm saying? It's still F you, but good job. And we still got the dub and we got out there, but I just can't do it. I can't cheer for, an ex-player making a play against us. I just can't do it. How do you guys feel about that? My man Michael says, is it the same for you, Rico, if Diggs makes a play? Oh, no. Yo, once you're off the squad, you're off the squad, bro. I don't want nothing. Diggs making a play against us is not going to make me happy. No. Because for me, he should still be on the squad. You should still be donning a Bills uniform. But you guys already know what time it is. Once you listen, you guys saw the timeline of the chatter, the text messages, the weirdness, and the odd behavior, and you already know. So he pretty much got his what he wanted. He wanted out. He got out. And no, it's not happening that way. And the circumstances are very different too. The way Jordan Poyer left is far different, right? You ain't seen Diggs pull up to a baseball game, charity baseball game, and people showing him love, because I know there's a lot of folks that are like, yo, F Diggs. That's how they feel. So once the Bills and the Texans show up and they play each other, there's no love. I still love the player. Don't get me wrong, but I ain't gonna root for you making plays against my squad. Boy, you crazy. Ain't no way that's happening. So, but yeah, man, salute to Jordan Poyer, bro. We ain't rooting for you, bro. We ain't rooting for you. We can't root for you to make plays against us. That's just what it's gonna be. So I wanted to touch base with that and see how you felt about that. And chime in the chat. Let me know if it's a no-go, or there's a bit of love that you can show him, a little bit of respect. You guys let me know. As you guys discussed that, I wanted to touch on a couple things. There were a couple player interviews that took place. One that I was very interested in was new defensive coordinator Babich. He came through and had a good 20-25 minute interview. Was it 40 minutes? I can't remember what it was. But he spoke a lengthy time, and addressed a lot of things, answered a lot of questions. And I came away with that interview really positive. I like his outlook on how he plans to, address this team and what his way of coming into his position, I like. It's the same way, obviously, Coach McDermott came up, and a lot of coaches come up, right? Positional coach, and you work your way up from positional coach, working every position you can until you get your opportunity to be a coordinator. And he has earned that right to become a coordinator, and he's absolutely ecstatic about it. As for play calling, I know Coach McDermott said he's going to be calling plays. He'll grant him the ability to call plays during preseason. So I'll be looking forward to that. But the one interesting thing a couple of things I took away from that interview with Babich is he doesn't give me the impression that he is the task is too big. It gets too much. He doesn't give me that at all. He gives me, let me grab the bulls by the horn, if they will, and let's get this thing cracking. Let's get going. And I love that about his approach to how he's going to take on his new role as defensive coordinator. Because you want someone that relates to the players. You want someone that has the ability to jump back into the DB room and say, okay, here's what I see, here's what I need you to do, so on and so forth. Jump into the linebacking room, and everywhere he's been has had success. They've had success. I mean, you look at Terrell Bernard. Terrell Bernard didn't have an offseason. Did not have an offseason. But he was able to challenge Terrell Bernard, get him prepared, and get him cracking. So I'm grateful for the opportunity that he gets, and we get to see it. And let's just hope that things go the way we want it to. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing Babich and what he does. The other thing that really stood out to me and I really liked in his presser is I think when they were referring to him dealing with rookies, with Cole Bishop and all the other guys, and he goes, "Listen, I'm not really one to kind of like I'm pretty much paraphrasing here. I don't baby these rookies, man. I like it's time to buckle in and get going, and I don't waste time, and they know it. But my tough love, pretty much what he's saying, and my tough approach will help them get better. And when push comes to shove, they'll be prepared for whatever comes their way. I.e., you could see that in Terrell Bernard. Terrell Bernard, there was no moment that was too big for Terrell Bernard, and that's with him having no offseason, which is absolutely crazy to me. So loved seeing that approach and hearing that approach. I was a big fan of that, and for the most part, he answered all questions. There was no stuttering. There was no. There was he got really down to the point, made his points, and they're very clear, concise. And what I loved about it is there's a great respect for McDermott. You can tell he's known McDermott for a long time. So there's a mighty respect for Coach McDermott and his knowledge and what he brings to the game. So he's going to be leaning into McDermott. He's going to be leaning into his father. So that's one of the things that really stood out to me. And I think this is going to be a good pick, man. I mean, 40 years old, he still can relate to each and every one of these guys, and his home position is a DB spot. So these guys are going to be just fine because we've got a lot of new faces back there. Cole Bishop being back there, Taylor Rapp going into his second year, Mike Edwards being a first-year guy. He's nursing an injury right now, but he's fine. Damar Hamlin is coming in his official year of like, okay, all that cardiac arrest stuff is behind me now. Let's play ball. Let's get to what we were doing prior to all this, right? He was gaining his reps. He was getting developed. So, it obviously took a little step back. So I hope this year he really takes full advantage of it. Because if you asked me last year, I would have said, he's only on the squad because of what happened. So now he's got a great opportunity to make the squad based on his skill set and what he brings to the squad. So hopefully we shall see that. So position battles will definitely play a part in this situation here. So good on Babich. I love that he's going to be the guy, and I'm glad that they made that decision. And let's roll, man. This defense, I hope that they don't miss a beat and they keep it pushing. I really do. So that Bobby Babich, loved what I heard from him. Great presser, and didn't duck any questions, man. He answered every one of them. Didn't do the political stuff. Got right to it, and let's roll. So big shout out to Coach Babich, man. I'm big fan. Now, the other interview that I saw that was quite intriguing was it was a short one, Von Miller. And there's a lot of questions about Von Miller and what he's going to bring and what's doing. So a couple things that stood out to me, which I liked. I know age 35 does play a part in how he's going to perform. I mean, obviously he's an older cat. He won't be able to do the things he did 3 years ago, but we could easily be duped and easily be, I mean, proven wrong. And he comes in and he's as fresh as he's been. So a couple things that stood out to me is that he no longer wears his brace. The brace is gone. Last year he spoke about, man, as much as I wanted to get rid of my knee brace, I couldn't. I had to have my knee brace on. And the last 3 games, he felt closer to himself. And this whole offseason, he's shed the knee brace. So he's knee braceless. So he's moving around and looking explosive and doing what he's got to do. So, like I said a couple weeks back, if we can get 10 sacks out of my guy, Von Miller, that is huge. And here's the biggest one. A lot of times these players, young players especially, I mean, what are you playing for? You know what I'm saying? I'm playing, I mean, for the love of the game, obviously. I'm playing to, I mean, take my moms out the hood or take my folks out the hood. I mean, I'm trying to do a lot of these things, right? I'm playing for my kids. Yo, Von Miller's like, yo, I got like 2-3 years left in me. And reason being is like my boys are starting to be aware enough that daddy plays ball. And they're starting to, there's my dad or there's this. So I want to be able to play so they can actually see and understand, here's what dad does for a living. I mean, this guy's a future Hall of Famer. So if he feels he's got 2 years left and his knee feels great, that's big news for the Bills. That's massive. I mean, it comes with a price tag, but nonetheless, he took that pay cut. He's here for a little bit. So if we could gain the Von Miller that we had a couple years back before the injury, shoot, that's great. At age 35, I'm not expecting much, but if we can get something, 7 to 10 sacks plus, that's major. And hearing him in the press conference, I know it's early, it's OTAs. I mean, there's you're not going hard with the pads and helmets and stuff like that. It's all shorts and a helmet. That's it. It's not a whole lot, but from what I understand and what I've been reading, Von Miller's been looking pretty damn good, pretty explosive off the edge. So that is super encouraging because that just gives us the boost that we will need, knowing the youth that we have on the back end, especially because losing Micah Hyde, we don't know what's going to happen with that. And Jordan Poyer being gone, there's a whole new backfield. That's a whole new backfield back there. So with this new, I guess, newfound energy from Von Miller, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. So let's hope that everything plays out the way we want it to, and we get the Von Miller that we paid for. I mean, the Von Miller we paid for. That's what we're hoping that we get. So big shout out to Von. Big shout out to Bobby Babich. I mean, those are the two interviews that stood out to me, and then we'll go from there. We'll go from there, folks. So that being said, OTAs, based on, I mean, obviously I'm not there, so I'm reading a lot of articles and trying to piece things together. And it's really tough because in the group chat today we were chatting, and it seems as though, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it seems as though when these mini camps, not even mini camps, these OTAs show up and people are without pads and not everybody's there, you don't got a full squad, there's guys that aren't there. A lot of times people will try to, make something out of nothing. And by that, I mean, some guy looks really good and we're looking forward to it. I mean, they're going to look good. There's no pads on. It's all in, shorts and t-shirt. So yes, you're going to look good. So I guess the question becomes, how much stock do you put into OTAs? Do you put a lot of stock into OTAs? Is it nice to hear that players are doing well? Absolutely. I love hearing it. Like right now, there were a couple players that stood out during I guess OTAs, and one of them being Chase Claypool. And that's twice now we've heard about Chase Claypool doing good things. But does that translate to when the pads come on? When things do matter, when the whole squad is now here, right? So those are the things that stand out to me. So question for the chat. Are we putting too much into OTAs? Should we just leave OTAs for what they are? It's voluntary. It's pretty much guys to just condition themselves, get to know the playbook. But like, is anybody really going hard? But don't get me wrong, I love hearing that Chase Claypool is looking mighty well and mighty good. I like hearing that Dwayne Carter is looking mighty good. It actually pleases me. And speaking of the rookie class, and we'll get into the OTAs in just a moment, we've signed most of our rookie class except for one. We're still waiting on the top dog to sign. But it's looking like we've signed some players. Cole Bishop, excuse me, Cole Bishop, our our 60th pick, second round pick has signed. Dwayne Carter has also signed. Ray Davis, Cedric Van Pran Granger has signed. Love to see it. And we've got obviously Eddie Ulufoshio, linebacker out of Washington, has signed. Javon Solomon, which I'm super excited about this year, has signed as well. Tyler Grable and DeQuan has signed as well. So with Quan Hardy. So big big signing. So we got that out the way. And what I love about this whole situation too is we saved some money, folks. We saved some money. That June 1st, that post June 1st money came in. So right now, we sitting at approximately 11 mil. All right. I mean, give or take a few 100,000, we're about 11 mil, give or take. So most folks are like, and I put a question out there, what would you do, or what are you feeling that we should do with that 11 mil? Should we be looking at free agent defensive linemen? Is there anybody out there that we like, that we'd like to see? Is there a receiver that you feel like we should be talking to? Is there a cornerback? Are we comfortable with the cornerback room? Those are questions that that stand out to a whole lot of folks. Let me see if I can. I kind of want to look at the free agency room and see what's out there, and if there's anybody worth bringing in. Is anybody worth? I mean, the conversation. And if you're looking at the free agents that are out there, there's some pretty good ones. I'm just gonna pull it up here and see what we got and all the available players right now. So let me share my screen so you folks can see what I'm looking at here. So we got 11 mil. We're not rich by any means. We are rich. We ain't got a whole lot of money, but we got a little bit of money, right? So is there anybody that stands out to you? So if you're looking at the positions, if I'm bringing anybody in, I'm looking at defensive end. So right now, as of right now, available, we've got some guys. Yannick Ngakoue, right? So there's some things out there. Calais Campbell. I'm not listen. He's 30. He's pushing 38. He's pushing 38. I don't know if I'm really ready to go there, especially if we move into that youth movement, right? Now, I've seen several people chime in and say Jerry Hughes would be nice for him to come back to the Bills. I don't know. I think that ship has sailed. I don't know about y'all, but I think that ship has sailed. But for the most part, I mean, there's really not much that stands out to me that's available right now, other than obviously Yannick, but he's gonna want to get a bag. He's just under 30, 29 years of age. So that might be something that we want to kind of take a look into. So keep that in mind. We do got some freed up money. Question is, where do you want to allocate that money to? Let's go to the cornerback room. To me, corner might be someone that might be somewhere we want to take a look at. Xavier Howard, still available. J.C. Jackson. I don't know about J.C. Jackson, but he's still out there. Dory Jackson out there. Stephon Gilmore. I mean, that might be a reunion to bring him back to the Bills, but do we need him to come back to the Bills? I mean, I like Rasul Douglas. I like where we are with Rasul Douglas. I like where we are with Christian Benford. I think he's developing just fine. I think he's going to take a nice leap this year. And Rasul Douglas going to his second year with the team, I think he's going to do great. I mean, he came off right off the bat making plays and making things happen. So that, to me, I'm on board. I like what we have right now. And Kyer Elam is that third player that we don't know what we got. He's got potential. When he gets into games, he's not a liability as bad as people may seem. He has made plays. And when it counts, he makes them count. The Dolphins a year ago, and then just this past season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's got some moments. He's got some moments in these games. He's getting experience. This is a big year for Kyer Elam. Show us what you got. Are you the future of the team if we decide to move on from Rasul Douglas? You know, obviously Rasul Douglas is 30 and above. So it's something to kind of, it's a conversation. It's definitely a conversation. But Stefon Gilmore, I don't know. I don't know if he turned me off, man. The minute he left Buffalo and it seemed like he wanted nothing to do with Buffalo, I was done with that. So Stefon Gilmore being there, Patrick Peterson, a savvy vet. Do you want to bring a veteran guy on the squad? So listen, Brent, listen, coach has some things to talk about. Him and Brandon Bean will discuss. I'm sure they will. Or do you save the money if for emergency purposes, break the glass? If something does happen, we go out and get something. I mean, a lot of people were talking about, well, listen, we got to save the money for the draft picks. Listen, $4 million is allocated to the draft picks only. So that leaves us with about $5 to $6 million. So that's enough to make a little mini splash. I mean, just last year around this time, actually, today's the 5th. On the 5th of June, we brought in Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd was a low-key, underrated pickup. So could there be someone that says, you know what, just give me that 1-year deal and I'll show you what I got? Is it Yannick Ngakoue? I don't know. Do we hit that? Do we hit that again? Something to talk about. Something to talk about for sure. So 11 mil is left on the books right now. So does Brandon Bean just play it chill and play it smart and just let it be? Or is he looking, is he searching? Is he trying to make something happen and bring some more depth to this team? So that's where we're at when it comes to the acquisitions that we've made thus far. So 11 mil, what do we do? How does this impact position battles? There's a lot that stands out in this case. So that being said, let's roll into position battles. There are some position battles that we should be paying attention to. The question is, where do you begin? Where do you begin? So for me, I'm going to go right to the trenches. And the first question that presents itself, that pops up for me, is that center guard position. And this right here, position battle number one. What should the Bills do with that center position? All right. So at this point in the game, it seems as though we are dead set. It seems as though the move right now is to leave Connor McGovern at center. And it makes sense. It does make sense, right? You leave him at the center position. He's got experience there. He was pretty much signed and being groomed to take over and be the successor once we made a decision on Mitch Morse, which made all the sense in the world, right? Athletic guy, wrestler, all that good stuff that McDermott likes and Brandon Bean likes. So McDermott should be entrenched as the guy at center. However, which leaves now competition at the guard spot. And that's where David Edwards is. Is David Edwards the lock at left guard? And if he is, there's a line. I see nothing for me to touch right tackle. I'm not touching right guard. I think we're fine at right guard with our guy Cybo. I think he's going to develop. I think he's going to get better. I'm good with that. So right now it becomes the center spot and the left guard spot. We already know left tackle is locked in, ready to go. That's our guy Deion Dawkins. So my lady Kim says the rookie is going to win the spot at center. Golly, that's a bold prediction. So this is the real question. What do you do? The real question is Cedric Van Pran Granger given an opportunity to unseat Connor McGovern? If they say it's an open competition, then all right, it's on. I haven't read anything, I haven't seen anything like that. Sometimes they make it clear right from the jump that this is our center or this is our quarterback. This is what we're doing. Like right now, the Patriots have already made a decision. Drake May is great and dandy, but they said we're not going with Drake May. We're going with Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is our number one quarterback right now. We ain't even touching it. We're not talking about anything else. We're not touching that subject. It's done, right? There's no competition. He's the starter until we see otherwise. And that's fine. Sometimes teams will do those. They'll come out right off the bat and just say it. So with this rookie center in Cedric Van Pran, excuse me, with Cedric Van Pran having a lot of experience at the center position and a damn good one at the collegiate position, at the collegiate level, he has an opportunity. But will he be given that opportunity? And that's the thing, right? Creed Humphrey came in, he played a lot of center. And when he came in, drafted by the Chiefs, he didn't go to center right off the bat. He earned himself a spot at the guard position and then eventually took over and jumped in at center. So maybe it's a matter of getting him some experience at the guard level. So then is it a 3-man competition at that left guard? Right? So Cedric Van Pran, let's just call him Granger. Cedric Granger. All right. So Cedric Granger coming in, competing with David Edwards? Does La'el Collins get an opportunity to compete for that? Because we brought in La'el Collins as well. And some might say, oh, you know what? La'el Collins is a tackle. So is he just a swing tackle for Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown? But Spencer Brown is now dealing with a shoulder injury. If you guys have read that he kind of did that at the end of the season against the Chiefs. So he's now dealing with that. He should be ready, according to my guy, the thigh doc, should be ready by week 1. Training camp should be back, and by week 1 should be ready to go. So did they bring him to kind of take over at the right tackle spot? That's a conversation to be had. But this left guard position, do we feel comfortable enough with David Edwards to take that spot, or is that open for competition? So to me, I'm looking at that center guard position. If they open it up and Cedric starts really looking good and taking command and making no mistakes, and it just seems like it's the better fit. And if we're really trying to put the best 5 together, do you put Cedric at center, which has all his experiences there, move Connor back to left guard, and now you have great depth in David Edwards, and you've got a solidified line and keeping our guy up and clean in Josh Allen. So position battle number 1 to me is that center guard position. What do we plan on doing? So chat, I'm going to ask you guys this. Do we let these guys battle it out, right? Find out who the top dog is at the center position, and whoever wins that, now you've got a great position to be in between Connor McGovern, that's already used to this position at left guard, and David Edwards just assumes his reserve role. Or let Connor McGovern stay where he's at and battle it out right now with La'el Collins. If they decide to push him to guard, La'el Collins, David Edwards, as well as obviously, Cedric Van Pran, Granger. So that to me is interesting concept to put together. See if you can kind of trying to see that battle go. I kind of like it. I think I'm all for competition everywhere. Give me the best 5. I've always said it, and I'm gonna stick to it. Give me the best 5, and if the best 5 is Granger, and you put Connor at left, so be it. We got something rolling. But if they feel like, you know what, we're gonna give him his opportunity, Connor's gonna take center, and we'll ease in Granger, then we'll see. Granger might not even be ready. He might not even be ready. So just keep him, just let him develop with Aaron Cromer. And maybe by next year, we'll see how that cooks off, and we'll see how that plays out. So good position to be in, but that's the battle that a lot of us should be looking for, is that trenches. How are they going to move things around, and who's going to be their 5, their best 5? That's what we're looking forward to. So big shout out to that position battle. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll see. We're going to see how that all plays out very shortly. So let's move on to the next position battle that I'm very much interested in and seeing. And that's the running back position. And that's between Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and most people are going to be like, well, what are you talking about? Frank Gore Jr. You got to throw Frank Gore Jr. in there. I mean, they brought him in knowing full well that his name means something. His pops played here. His pops is very well respected. His pops is a future Hall of Famer, over 16,000 yards rushing, and has battled adversity his whole life. You know what I'm saying? So now his son goes undrafted, and now to the Bills. Does he have an opportunity to get into this RB competition? Here's what I think. I threw him in there because it's going to be competition no matter what. We're going to see what he does. And there's always somebody in there that has something that's going to show you something. Could it be Frank Gore Jr. that throws every doing here? So I'm not sure if we're there yet. I think Ray is going to really compete with Ty Johnson. I think it's going to be a two-man. It's going to be a two-man race for that RB2 spot. James Cook, I think, is fully entrenched into that number RB1 spot. I think he takes that. It's really going to be who is your number 2, your clear-cut number 2. And that battle is going to be interesting because Ray Davis, obviously well-known around the league. Collegiately was well-known. Has a fantastic story. You can't not root for the guy. And Ty Johnson came on last year, was a breath of fresh air as a backup running back. Can pass block, can catch out of the backfield, can run inside, outside. I mean, and does special teams and can kick off return. So he brings a lot of value to this position group. So that battle is going to be something I'm looking forward to seeing, because similar in style, Ty Johnson and Ray Davis. Ray Davis is not some spring chicken. He's 24, almost 25 years old. So we've got a guy that's got life experience, if you will. He's got life experience. So we'll see how that all plays out in the end. So listen, I'm biased, maybe. I actually like Ty Johnson. I really do like Ty Johnson, but I really like Ray Davis. And I think Ray Davis proves enough in camp that he takes that number 2 spot. And when he does, he starts to kind of creep in and take a couple touches away from James Cook, which is not a bad thing. He maybe takes a couple touches away from Josh Allen, which is not a bad thing either. So that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing that battle very much so. But Ray Davis should come out as your number 2 RB. Should. And if he doesn't, no sweat. He's got time. He's definitely got time. And I like Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson is a solid player, and I think he's a great backup. But I like that the young fresh legs that comes in Ray Davis. So I think Ray Davis takes RB2, but that's a position battle that I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing. So Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, maybe a little Frank Gore comes in there and he shocks everybody and takes RB3, and Ty Johnson is on the outs. But you know what? He brings value to this team. I just can't see it happening. So Frank Gore might be on the practice squad, and if we need you, be ready. And Ty Johnson gives you the value on special teams. That's the big one right now. So if it's not Daquan Hardy, maybe returning kicks or punts or whatnot, Ty Johnson might have something to do with the return abilities, right? Especially with this new return policy. So we'll see. Punt return, kick return. We'll see what he does. So that position group, looking forward to it. Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. I got my rooting interest in there. Ray Davis should take the spot, but I've seen stranger things happen, man. I've seen Zach Moss get drafted, and they pushed him to take the position away from Devin Singletary when Devin Singletary was here, and Devin Singletary wanted nothing to do with it. He would not relinquish his spot. He did everything he can to keep Zach Moss off his tail, to the point where they just traded Zach Moss and said, all right, bro, clearly you're not doing it. And guess what? Zach Moss has had success. He went to the Colts, had big time success with the Colts, and now he's the RB1 right now for the Cincinnati Bengals. So big shout out to Zach Moss doing his thing, man. Sometimes it's just the opportunity wasn't the greatest opportunity for him in Buffalo. He seized the moment, and now he's on his 3rd team, and he's RB1. He's the guy that they're going to be looking to. So big battle that's going to be that happened and over there with the Colts, and big battles happening in Buffalo. So I like it, man. I like this battle, and I like the 1-2 punch of James Cook, Ray Davis, and sprinkle a little bit of Ty Johnson in there too. So that's where I stand on that regard. So that running back position, we're going to be very much paying attention to that one right there. Let's move on to another position battle we should be looking for, and that's Javon Solomon. Excuse me. Listen, man, we already know what time it is with Javon Solomon. Very decorated collegiate career. He's just a sack guy. He just knows how to get after the quarterback. And that's why we stole. To me, it was a steal to get Javon Solomon. And I really hope that he has success. So who is he battling with? I know we rotate our guys and we let them have fresh legs, but I kind of like him having some moments to go up against AJ Epinesa and see how that battle materializes. And I'm sure he's gonna get some with Von Miller as well. So that swing, I guess, lineman that can come in on left or right side, whatever the case, wherever they decide to line him up from. But he's gonna take some touches away from. He's gonna take some snaps away from somebody. If he is as potent and he continues to progress and bring what he brought from college level to the NFL level, how do you keep that brother off the field? It's going to be very difficult. I know you paid a little bit of money to AJ Epinesa. I know there's a lot of money tied into Von Miller, but production is production. And if he's producing, and if he decides to produce, and camp turns out well, training camp turns out well, preseason, you can't keep him off the field, bro. Let's get this young youth movement pushing and going. So I like the battle between AJ and Solomon getting in there. Maybe he might even battle with Von Miller in there. I mean, there's a rotation going on, but I like to see how that all plays out. So Pay attention to that battle there. Let's go to the receiver room, and that's the receiver 6 spot. So the receiver 6 spot is an interesting one, and I was told don't think about it, don't overthink it, and I very much agree with it to not overthink the receiver room, and I think Chase Claypool from what he's been doing and this is why I brought up OTAs. Does it really matter what's done in OTAs? Doesn't matter. It's OTAs. Ain't nobody really doing much, right? But you like hearing that players are excelling, players are grasping, players are making plays, and apparently, allegedly, that is what Chase Claypool's been doing in these OTAs, making big plays and making big catches and really standing out and looking pretty dominant. So he might be the guy that gets that position 6 receiver 6 spot, battling out with Justin Shorter. And I haven't heard a damn thing about Justin Shorter. He wasn't on the field in last practice of OTAs. So who knows what's going on with that? So when you're not on the field and you're not available, it's tough to to keep you in that battle if we not seeing you. We got one cat that's making plays and we don't see you on the squad, right? Can't sleep on Tyrell Shavers either. He's going to be trying to get in there and squeeze in there. Kim Bet says maybe we keep 7 receivers. We haven't done that in a long time, Kim. There were moments where we wanted to, and this was several years ago, that we're like, oh man, we just can't make a decision. Let's keep 7 receivers. Bro, we kept 6. Last year, I think we were down to 5 receivers. So that being said, 7 is a little steep. I don't know if we keep 7, Kim. I think we might keep 6. And I think Mr. Chase Claypool earns that 6th spot. And not only that, does he earn the 6th spot, he earns the ability to get on the field and get his touches. Keon Coleman, he's going to be going through his development. He's going to have his ups and downs, right? He's going to have to get used to the speed of the game, the speed of the DBs. Is he learning the playbook as well as he can? I know he's an intelligent young man, so he will grasp and he will be able to get on the field. But at the end of the day, it's about the chemistry you have with your quarterback. That's what it's going to come down to. Chemistry with your quarterback. And if MVS is putting in the work in and he's getting the chemistry and Josh is liking what he's seeing and they're on the same page, Chase Claypool on the same page with Josh Allen, it's going to be too difficult to keep these guys from getting on the field and getting some touches. So I like this group, but there will be a battle for that 6th spot. We already know what time it is. It's Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. You got Mac Hollins. You got MVS. And then there it is, Chase Claypool. There's your 6. I can't see anything yet. Can't think yet. If everybody stays healthy, I think this is what you see. What you see is what you get with that move, with that group right there. And that's not a bad group. For the money that we had, that's not a bad group. And what I love about what Brandon Beane does is he knows how to go and shop for cats that have had success in the league before. Something may have happened, whether it was an injury, whether they got in trouble with the law, whatever the case, right? He'll find a way to get you to Buffalo. And if you can recreate what you've done in the past and really be an asset, why not? So Chase Claypool might be in that very situation. Let's not forget what this brother's been able to do the first 2 years when he was in the league. He was looking a pretty dominant rookie. And then quarterback change. And then traded to a team where the quarterback play and the offense, just the personnel just wasn't great. So a lot of things have to line up properly. A lot of times great players go to bad places and it never works out. It really doesn't work out, like Megatron. And I'm not saying that he went to a bad place, but Megatron was Megatron and he went to Detroit and there was a whole lot of, I think, one playoff appearance, I think, if I remember correctly. So and Matthew Stafford was no scrub, but they just couldn't get it done. Well, for whatever reason, and this guy was destined for way more. Will he be a Hall of Famer? Hell yeah. But destined for way more, bro. Destined for way more. So we want to make sure that players go to the right place, and maybe Chase Claypool's in the right situation, right scenario, right quarterback, right system, and he takes over. And he becomes he becomes the guy that we thought he was going to be. Let it all play out. It's only OTAs. That's why I don't want to get too excited about this, but I think it's going to be 6 receivers that we keep, and we keep it rolling, right? So Chase Claypool, Justin Shorter, Tyrell Shavers, MVS. I think position 1 through 5 is taken. Receiver 6 should be taken as well. But things happen, things change. So we'll all see how this all plays out at the end of the day when the pads come on and all that great stuff. So we talked on Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. We talked on Javon Solomon, excuse me, with on the edge with AJ Epinesa, obviously, and Von Miller. So I mean, I think to me, Greg Rousseau is entrenched. I think he's that guy. He's gonna be manning that spot a lot, and hopefully he gets after the quarterback way more than he does this year. But camp battles to pay attention to as well as in the linebacker room. So the linebacker room to me, it's Dorian linebacker 3. Obviously, we already know who our 2 guys are, and Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard. But God forbid something does happen, or if Milano's not ready to come back yet, because we see him on the field and he's rehabbing, he's repping, but he's not quite 100% ready to go just yet. So if he comes through a setback where it doesn't allow him to come back, we got to be ready to roll with these guys. So is Dorian Williams ready to take over that role? A lot of times we thought he was going to get that role, but you bring in of an aging vet in AJ Klein over Dorian Williams. So was he not understanding the playbook? Was he not understanding the concepts? What's going on with that? That's a whole different question now. So now you're going into year 2 with Dorian Williams, but now you've revamped this whole linebacking room. So to me, the position battle for linebacker 3, that becomes obviously Dorian Williams mixed in with Nicholas Moreau alongside Deion Jones. They just brought in Deion Jones. So Deion Jones, late signee, but he's had success in this game. So that linebacker 3 spot, linebacker 4, bro, there's some competition now. There's some competition. So you can't go wrong with that. We got veteran ability. We got experience with Nicholas Moreau. We've got obviously a leader in that regard. And we got the young gun in Dorian Williams that can smack her brother and really get going, brings the lumber. So that is where, Coach Babich is going to find out where is the best fit for these guys. So that battle at the linebacker spot is an underrated one. I think it's going to be a big one. And should the edge go to Nicholas Moreau based on his experience? Will he take over that position? Will he be the next man up? That's the one that I'm looking forward to. Baylon Spector is definitely in there as well, but I'm not sure if he's LB3. Coming in and being that linebacker that plays in that package, right? Where they need 3 linebackers in a package. You never know. And Deion Jones is a bit of a tweener. He can play in depth in coverage, or he can play, at linebacker spot. So like that, can't sleep on Deion Jones in that position too, in that position battle. So that being said, those are the position battles that I'm looking forward to. Is there one that I missed that you guys are kind of like, ooh, you missed this one? This is a big battle that you should be talking about. The one that I may have skipped on potentially is that safety position. And I'm looking at that safety position and I'm like, okay, you got Cole Bishop, rookie, and he's going through the motions right now as a rookie. As he should. You got Taylor Rapp, just got himself his new contract. You brought in Mike Edwards, that's nursing an injury right now. And then you have obviously you have a plethora of players that we have on the depth that can come in and really do some damage. So real question becomes like, where do you see certain players making certain moves? Is there someone that stands out to you? Is Taylor Rapp and Mike Edwards the 2 guys that you're looking at saying, okay, that's where we're going to be? Is Cole Bishop safety number 3, or is it DeMar Hamlin? Does DeMar Hamlin come in and say, you know what? I got now that I'm mentally over what happened to me, I'm ready to get back into it and really get my reps in and really be the guy to develop. Some might be saying, bring in Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde is not quite officially retired. He hasn't said, here my paperwork, I'm done. Could he be waiting for an opportunity if someone gets hurt? And he's like, okay, here I am. Do they not like what they have at the safety room? Is Mike Edwards not the guy that we anticipate? So there's going to be a lot of questions at that safety spot. So I left that out, but I should have never left that out. I should have brought that in. So the position battle, if you will. I don't know if it's a battle, but I do anticipate that we should be looking into that position a little bit more, because if Taylor Rapp goes down, Now you're looking at Mike Edwards, first-year player that's still trying to get to know the system. Rookie Cole Bishop still getting to know the system. And then you got DeMar Hamlin that knows the system, that has a leg up. So maybe DeMar Hamlin might be that sneaky guy that comes in and says, you know what? There is no other competition. I'm safety number 4. We're going to go with 4 safeties. That's who we roll with. That could be it. Or maybe he rolls up to safety 3. Maybe Cole Bishop doesn't quite grasp it just yet. And there's a lot that's going to play into this. So that safety competition, very much looking forward to seeing how that all shakes out and plays out. But for the most part, I feel it's obviously Taylor Rapp is going to be, solidified as that one guy that's going to be there. And clearly Bishop's going to be working his way up to try to get there. He's a great, phenomenal talent. And it'll take him time to get in there. So I think it's going to be Mike Edwards, Taylor Rapp, sprinkled in with a little bit of DeMar Hamlin. And if Cole Bishop can really grasp this playbook and really play fast, he might be that safety 3. So that that scheme that we have, that we go quarters or we go dime or whatever, we need a third safety. This is where your man Cole Bishop comes in. Maybe he comes in and stays on the line. And now he's going up against the likes of Travis Kelce and those big time tight ends that we got. So I like what we have on defense. I like how this is all shaking out. These position battles will be something to watch. Looking very much forward to it. And should be a fun off season. So it's getting underway. Obviously, OTAs is the voluntary camp. So once these mini camps and training camps start popping up and it's time, this is where you're going to start seeing the big boys show up. And this is where you're going to start seeing this team shape out. We're going to start shaping this team to seeing what are we going to put on the field? What is going to be put on paper? On paper, it sounds all right. It sounds all right on paper. But it's going to be interesting. So do we get to see one more at Hyde's from, let me listen, the Josh was tenting one more year. So you guys already know what time it is. Whatever Josh wants, Josh gets. So if Josh is talking to Brandon Beane and he's talking to Von Miller, the other GM, you know what I mean? And he's talking to coach and saying, man, like, look, I'm watching, I'm playing, and I'm cooking these guys on the field, bro. We need a field general on the squad. So that's where Micah Hyde might come in, because he said it himself, and I want to repeat myself, but it's the Bills or it's nobody. It's the Bills or it's no one. I don't have to go somewhere else and learn a new playbook, learn my new personnel. I don't have to do that. I know the playbook. I know the personnel. Those changed a little bit, but I do know. And that's that. I can't see. I can't see him playing anywhere else. It's either it's no one or the Bills, like you said. So would I be happy to see Micah Hyde come back? Hell yeah. I'd love to see Micah Hyde come back. But we've seen stranger things happen. One last position battle that I don't want to neglect is that interior line. I wouldn't call it a battle per se, because we rotate that line so much. So I can't say it's a battle. But Dwayne Carter making a lot of noise, bro. Dwayne Carter, the Duke, is making a lot of noise in that interior line. So do not be shocked when you see it's Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, Dwayne Carter with that trio rotation. And just keep rotating. And you get little Austin Johnson in there as well. But Dwayne Carter is that battery is pushing right now. There's no end to that battery. He's got a big motor and it keeps going. It doesn't shut off. So that's amazing news that you want to see in the interior line, because you already know what time it is, man. The trenches is the big deal. So if we can man the trenches and really be a havoc, what an easy job it's going to be for the guys on the back end to make plays. Turn that ball over, get that plus minus differential up, and then we in this thing. So that being said, those are the position battles we will look for, right? And what we're going to be paying attention to. So the interior line, Cedric Van Pran Granger. Are we looking at him at the center position? Is he stout enough? Is he good enough to be there? Is his best set position at guard? Does he battle out with David Edwards? What do we do with Lyle Collins? From what I understand, Lyle Collins ain't looking too hot right now in OTAs. He ain't looking so great. So maybe he's not even making the squad. You just never know. You just never know how this all plays out. But for the most part, the interior line is going to be nice to look at. The edge with Javon Solomon, AJ Epinesa, that little battle is going to go on, and now who gets more play time. I mean, the edge should go to AJ Epinesa, but if Solomon just looks unstoppable, bro, you're just gonna get the touches. You will get the snaps. At the end of the day, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, that's gonna be an interesting one. RB2, who takes that one? Does anybody sneak into that room Frank Gore Jr., does he have something to say about that? We'll be paying attention. Chase Claypool, Justin Shorter, MVS. I mean, position 5. I mean, listen, it seems as though Josh Allen is liking what he's getting from Mac Hollins. I mean, that's what I've seen. That's what I've been reading. But maybe these guys just push too hard, and Mac Hollins doesn't make the squad. But I can't see him not making squad because he gives you that ability on special teams, right? So that's what's big with that regard. So receiver 6 seems pretty set, but you just never know these days. You just never know. There might be a name that comes out of nowhere and shocks us all. You already know what time it is. There's always somebody in camp that comes in and just shocks us all, right? It happens. Dorian Williams, Nicholas Moreau, Deion Jones for LB3. Who becomes the guy that that if Matt Malone's already, who's the next man up? All right. And last but not least, the safety position, DeMar Hamlin, Cole Bishop. We'll see how that all plays out at the end of the day. So, folks, that's it for me. I appreciate y'all. These are the battles, man. These are the battles that we're going to be paying attention to. So let's discuss in the chat. Let me know how you guys feel in the chat once you guys watch this over. For those that are going to be tuning in afterwards, let me know how that plays out. And go look at those OTA interviews, man. These interviews are bomb. I think they're great. It gives you guys a little bit more insight as to how this team is going to shape out and what these new additions are going to bring to this team. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So new year, a few new players, but the goal is still the same. Win that AFC East, obviously get a shot at that Super Bowl. That's what it comes down to right now. And for the most part, man, I've been looking at a lot of Bills content creators and what these, the big guys that are on national TV and how many wins they see the Bills getting. A lot of us are falling on between 12 wins. It's a doable feat. It gets us what we need to do is that division. And if we get the division, we kind of have ourselves in control of how we want to do things. So that's the point of the game, man. Win your division and keep it pushing to see what you can get. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, it's a different year, but it's the same beast in Josh Allen. It's the same beast with the mentality we have trying to win this whole thing. So that's the way I look at it, man. Once you have 17, you can do a whole lot with 17. And a lot of teams in the league got a guy like 17. Probably a handful. There's not a whole lot. This guy's different. This guy's mad different. So much love. Appreciate y'all. My guy, Michelle Holland, what's good, man? I appreciate you tuning in every week. And hopefully we're going to get my guy Z-Bot tonight. He's been busy. I have my parents over. My mom was over visiting, so that's why he didn't see me on the back end of last week. So she came and visited with Granny. Granny's over 100 years old. She came through. She flew, and we had a good old time. And so, listen, family first. You guys already know what time it is, man. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And you guys enjoy yourselves, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. It is the Rico Report. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. And we'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.